Hello, hello, everybody. It is Wednesday, July 16th, and yesterday I did my first attempt at taking Sally to a dog beach, which was very, very difficult. There were all the stairs were washed out. It wasn't a huge incline, but because there was so much messed up concrete, it was very difficult for my mom and I to actually get up and down this little cliff. And so we had a lifeguard, we had people on the beach, we had all kinds of people helping us try and get through this situation. Plus, Sally pulls on us, and I couldn't take her off the leash. So I didn't get a lot of footage, but hopefully I'll do better at the next one. Okay, first day at the dog beach. We're gonna give this a try, Miss Sally. See how she reacts to the cold Pacific Ocean. It's already yanking on me. So at that point, two dogs had shown up right behind us who were unleashed, and she kind of, they wanted to sniff her. She gets a little too hyper, a little too aggressive, and at this point, I kind of lost control of my camera. But, that's what I had for that. So she's excited. We can't take her off the leash yet, though. She dug herself a hole. So she had a great time, even though I had to keep her pretty restrained while we were there. And it was very challenging for my mom and I to navigate this particular beach. So we'll try, or at least I'll try. I don't know if she's going to come back with me because it was kind of miserable, you guys. But we did go to lunch after that at the Memphis Cafe in Costa Mesa, where we had some soul food. I didn't take pictures of our food, but you can look up their menu online. And it is, I had the catfish, my mom had the barbecued shrimp and grits. Hopefully I'm not going to get a copyright on this. Hopefully it's short enough that I don't get a copyright on that. Anyway, let's get into the update on Foodie Beauty. Okay, so I'm going to use barbecue chillins base content. I will drop the link. Please be sure to like her original content and subscribe to her channel.
She make it clap, clap, clap.
I always run over that.
She's that respectable girl.
This dancing during the Koki days is what got her up to $20,000 a month in YouTube coin.
Stop the dog. Stop the dog. Keep to get it on. Dog. Wow. Dog. Wow.
Hold up. My husband's spending $17. Realize not every single person in Syria eats only bread and water, right? We are not the only ones who eat at restaurants, but if you want to loosen the pearls you are gripping so tightly, think of it this way. We are helping small business owners stay in business, and I am darn sure they would have no issue with us buying dinner from their establishments so they can feed their families. So why does the hate mob try and place the entire weight of Syria's political and economical issues on my shoulders? Laugh out loud, get real. Well, Chantel, nobody else is in the restaurant when you're there. You've filmed yourself twice in this restaurant now, and nobody else is there. You've talked about there being child labor in the restaurant. It looks like a large, new, or redecorated restaurant. So it's not just a small business. We're talking about pretty rich people in Syria who are trying to somehow provide for a tourist economy that is certainly not going to happen anytime soon. Gosh, girl. So she got the Julia shaved yesterday.
I look hunchback because I kind of am, but for this gig, this thing is like, my hijab is all bunched up, it's wrinkly, it's getting on my nerves. I'm a mess. I just woke up, so forgive me. So I finally uploaded my video about my health updates. By the time I upload it, my health is gonna be completely different. No, I'm just joking. No, it uploads in about 2 to 3 hours. There's tension again in Syria, yeah. Very close to us, actually. So.
Yeah, very close to you. Normal people would be making arrangements to leave the country, but not Chantel. She needs to keep an eye on Salah and make sure that he doesn't cheat on her.
I'm so excited for fall. I don't know how what are you doing here? She's full of spunk and vinegar right now. They said, I get what you have to do. You have to tease the hair around the neck to make it look liony. So now it looks okay.
No. Chantel, that's how they get mats in the first place. If you're not petting with the grain of her fur, if you're screwing with it, like teasing it, she's not some sort of fucking goth from the 80s. Why would you do that to her coat? Especially after doing such an intense procedure to get her that line cut in the first place.
No. No. Hey. Oh my God. What's wrong with you? She's hyper. Her legs look like...
You don't know how to pick up your animals. That's what's wrong. You still don't know how to just cradle them in your arms. And that's why she can't tolerate your manhandling. She doesn't like it.
Sticks. Yeah, they clipped her claws. They gave her a treat, but she doesn't like them. Anyways, they said, I think they gave her like anesthesia because when she came home, well, they did give her something, but I don't know if it was like full anesthesia, I don't know what. She was like...
Chantel, why would you not know this? I mean, when I take my animals into the vet, I get all the details on what happened. And yes, I did have one occasion in which my long hair cat, who needed to have a medical shave, ended up having a bad reaction to the general anesthesia. As I said, they go under for this procedure. It is incredibly rare that they can be sedated well enough to have it done while they're still awake. And if they go under and the cocktail that they're given for anesthesia is not just perfect for their body, then it can take 24 hours. It took my cat 24 hours to get back to normal, and she was acting loopy and out of it, and I had to make sure she wasn't trying to jump on any of the furniture either. Right? Actually, that was not the lion cut that we did that year. That was the tract removal, the breast cancer. But yeah, she came back and she was completely out of it.
She would just stand there like this, and then she stayed clung to me. So, but she wasn't allowed to have water or food for a while. So, I don't know. I was like, maybe just get her the.
I mean, common sense, Foodie, Chantal. If she wasn't allowed to have food and water for a while, then she was put under. She had general anesthesia, because that's when they make them fast, is because they don't want, it's same with people. You have to fast before a medical procedure like that, where you're going to go under general anesthesia, unless it's an emergency, and obviously then they can't do much about it, like if you have something in your belly. But they have to be much more careful, because you could throw up on the operating table, and so can your cat. And that's why they're not allowed to have food or drink. You would not have been given those instructions if there was no chance that she was going under general anesthesia, period.
We told the vet, just take the mat. There was 2 mats underneath her belly. I said, just remove those, And she's like, she can be aggressive. She you know what, Mary? I guess it's common practice here. Like, they had many cats just waiting to be shaved. Like, it's very popular here to do that in the summer with cats. So, the vet said it would be good for her. So, I don't know, like, it would be good for the summer. And, she doesn't seem to mind. I don't know.
Yeah, for all of you out there who, I know that she is an animal abuser. She has a reputation for this. But this is not the hill to die on. It is pretty common that if you have a long-haired cat, if they have any skin issues, if they're matting up their fur too severely for you to get through it with a brush, or you have some jackass petting against the grain and matting up their fur, then this is the best way to handle it. And my cats, the 2 long hairs that I had, they actually became much more active. They would much more affectionate, because they weren't living with the pain of those mats during the summertime, and it was slowly growing back in by wintertime when they needed their coat back.
Want to try terzepatide?
So this is terzepatide, and it is the
Hold up. What's that say? Yes, a cat's fur is crucial for regulating its body temperature. It acts as insulation, keeping cats warm in the winter and cool in the summer. The fur traps a layer of air which helps to insulate the cat's body from extreme temperatures. While it might seem counterintuitive, a cat's fur actually helps prevent overheating in hot weather by circulating cool air against the skin and acting as a shield against external heat. What is this, like Chat GPS or something? I mean, first of all, veterinary clinics would not be performing the lion shave on these cats if it was that crucial, like you're saying. There are lots of reasons why you might have to go through this with a long hair cat. So I'm definitely not going to shame her for it. I did it every single year with my cats because I had to. And it cost about $500 to get it done because it is a complicated procedure. And I would have all their shots done at the same time and an antibiotic shot in. They both were getting this rash on their lower backs that they were biting at that too, right? So no, I'm not going to give her crap for getting the lion cut. Okay, let's continue.
I was combing her, yeah, but even if you have long, her belly fur is ridiculous. So I think it happened during the travel because I don't know. Because back in Kuwait, she didn't have mats. Like, it was very rare. She might have a small one that I would be able to clip. But even so, even if, you know, long hair cats, like, sometimes they get matted, it happens. But, so when I got here, I noticed that there was a couple mats. So, you know, so I was just really stressed with adjusting here and dealing with things, so.
Well, I hope you treated her for fleas as well while she was there. Because there had to have been some reason that she was biting at herself, Chantel.
Do they give out warnings? No. Basically, every day the power cuts from the government allows power from 8 to 9 a.m., 8 to 9 p.m., 2 to 3 p.m., 2 to 3 a.m. We have, if you want power constantly, you have to install a solar system, which we installed solar. The washer's finicky. Anyway, so we have solar. So during the day when the rays, you know, they hit the solar panel, they transfer excess, it charges the battery. Like, we have a huge battery for at nighttime, which keeps my CPAP, the fans going, okay? But not the fridge. If we plugged in the fridge, that would suck all the battery. Same thing with even a kettle.
Well, it sounds like you're blowing through all of your power anyway. So, whatever this battery is that you paid, that was used, that you paid 700 USD for, according to Salah, because there's no way he'd trim anything off the top, you guys. Why are you getting so little out of it? My friend's cabin had solar only for electricity. They were totally off the grid. They had television. They had a landline in there. They had all the lighting we needed. And they had internet. So I don't know what your problem is.
But kettle took that much, you know? So that's how we do it. And that's how a lot of businesses do it. Worry about your safety. Yeah. I know there was a bombing yesterday. So they're basically bombing. They bombed, what do they call them? Like sectarian, like, issues. So like, there's a group of people called the Druze, and, there's groups of people in Syria who are against these Druze people. Israel wants to protect these Druze people. I don't know. There's still conflict. I don't know. So yeah, it was the...
If you don't really know and you want to rush through it, maybe you shouldn't talk about it. But we'll get to an article or a video about the news story anyway after we cover this. Israel was responsible for returning gunfire according to Netanyahu, so who knows?
The bombing was maybe an hour from us. Something like that, an hour and a half. Yeah, I mean, yeah, as of now, could leave if I wanted to. Same with Salah. Super scary, I know. And very frustrating. Like, just leave Syria alone. Like, get the heck out. Stop bombing. They also bombed a friggin' refugee shelter again in Gaza. Like, that dude's going right to hell. Like, that's like, there's no repercussions for his war crimes. Cowpat, well, the new government doesn't approve of that, apparently, in a statement he made, the new interim president. So there's still a lot of inter-civil, and I agree with you, nobody should be killed for religious persecution. I'm dead against that. So I agree with you there, yes, you know, but there's still a lot of that.
Maybe a better choice of words.
Unrest in here, but it's not going to be perfect right away, right? So there's a lot of tension and, you know, there's a lot of conflict still, so that's the one thing, but I knew that coming here. I knew it wasn't going to be.
She's rocking back and forth, and I don't know if she's taken her brain meds or if this is just a nervous tick that's going on for her right now.
A friggin' Holiday Inn, you know, like, but there is a lot of beauty in Syria, and it gets overshadowed by these things, you know, these conflicts and please leave while you can. I'm not leaving my family ever again. But we're gonna see how it goes, you know. If we had to leave, I don't know, if I had to leave, I would probably go to another country and like travel around, or we would, I don't know what, I couldn't say. She just has a passport, yes. We have all her files. She's microchipped, passport, vaccinations, health certificate from Kuwait. If the vet needs to give her updated certificates or shots, we have that. Kind of. No, we're not staying here forever. Like, probably not. I don't know what the future will hold, you know? It's hard to say. No, he doesn't plan on getting a second wave. Maybe he'll want to stay. Maybe. People are freaking out because at KFG, Salah said he'll stay here forever. I know, he was joking around. Will you be staying more than 2 weeks?
Was he? Was he joking around? When are we going to leave Syria? We're not going to leave Syria. We're here forever and ever and ever. Says the romance scammer that you married within 10 days of meeting on Tinder. Okay.
Yes. Lance, we have to go get wet food because I tried to give her this thing. Tuna. Applicable to all cat species, it says. Tuna, seaweed, olive oil, taurine, amino acids, fish oil, minerals, and probiotics. There's nothing bad in here and she doesn't want it. That's probably why. The ones we used to get probably had additives. She doesn't like them. Why are you picky? I'm gonna give this to a cat outside.
Well, you said that she's been biting at her belly. Maybe she has digestive issues. Have you considered that? Have you been, like, keeping track of the consistency of her feces?
So we have to go get her wet food because the vet doesn't want her eating crunchies right away. But I don't want to use up all my internet during the day. I get more gigabytes from 1 a.m. to 9 a.m. So I kind of want to reverse my sleep schedule just so I can bees more during the night. Data? It's like, I think $5 for a plan that gives you 60 gigs. So I go through that pretty quick. So we have to keep buying them. So costs, I don't know, probably it depends how many times I fill up. Every other day, a few days I'm filling up on gigs. Hey, Angela, the thing is that I don't use my nighttime ones from 1 to 9, so they always accumulate. Do you think it's right for the children to work? I think it's more out of necessity, Angela. It's like a cultural thing, so, you know.
Yeah, I'm sure it is in developing nations like China, right? You're cool with this, though. That's cool.
Like, the kids are in school here, and then, you know, they help their families after hours, I guess. Just if they have, like, this kid that was serving us, it was like his family's business, so I don't know. It's not like, you know, yeah. It's a circumstantial thing. Yeah, exactly. Well, Salah gave him a nice tip, that's for sure. He was like, no. So he made some good money. He just brought us, like, our drinks. That's about it. He took pride in it. You could tell. Really cute little guy. Cute kid. Well, he wasn't like a kid. He was probably like 12, 13. But the legal.
That is a kid, Chantel. You wouldn't have been working a job at that age. You would not have been doing what that 12-year-old was doing. when you were 12. This privileged piece of shit feels like she's a rich bitch in Syria because her money goes further, but she's literally too poor to go anywhere else. She couldn't even handle Canada, where she has a family support system in place.
I think in Canada when I first worked was 16, so not that far off. I don't know. I don't see like 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds. Are you?
Yeah, it is that far off, and generally in the leading nations like the U.S. and Canada and the Western Europe, we have child labor laws that, sure, they can work, but the time that they can work is severely limited, and the amount of money that they get is protected. They've been fighting, for laws on this for a very long time. I got my first official job at 16 as well, and I had to have a work permit.
Like 13, something like that. Oh my God, baby. Cheers.
Fighter.
You have stick legs. Why is she skinny? I never knew she was this skinny. Hi, baby. In the jungle, the mighty jungle. Just call it. Did your mom take you to the airport, travel to Syria, and what was her reaction when you told her you were going? I didn't want to tell her at first when I made up my mind. And then closer to when I was leaving, I was like she just knew. She's like, are you going to Syria, cutie? And I was like, yeah. And she was really worried, obviously. So I tried to So yeah, she was worried. She still is worried.
But you're lucky your family hasn't 5150'd you yet. Quite frankly. They'd have a pretty strong case for conservatorship given your mental health issues, your poor decisions, the trouble you made in Kuwait, your decision to go to Syria, and your clear eating disorder that you've spoken of several, probably hundreds and hundreds of times on your channel.
I try to use her mind a bit with, thank you, Peachy. I feel itchy. We call this sand, and anyways, I have faith in God, and that helps me be brave with doing a lot of things. And Salah and Julia, they're my family, and I just don't want to live apart from them if I can, So I was thinking, can I go to Syria? Salah was like, you don't want to come here, don't come here. She's gonna bite me. Can we see her top? It's a dress. Yeah. It matches some of the flowers with but my hijab is wrinkled. I don't like that about it, but anyway. It's from Syria. Somebody gave it to me. We went to some company, and we ended up staying very late. And the next day, I didn't have a change of clothes, so one of the women said, I have I used to be very big, and I lost some weight. I used to be bigger, lost some weight, and she gave me this dress. Good morning, sweet love. Oh, shoot, my phone's gonna die. Okay, I'll see you guys a bit later. Bye. Have a nice day.
All right, let's get into the news article. Eyelash's channel shared this morning, and it gives more information about the bombing that occurred near Chantal.
A wave of deadly Israeli airstrikes hit Syria. Bombs take out Syrian government military tanks heading towards the southern city of Sweda. It's a significant escalation in Israeli force against the new regime in Damascus, led by former rebel leader and now President Ahmed al-Shara.
I was on an armored personnel.
So, unless you didn't catch that, Israel is not pleased with the new government, which is currently led by a former leader of ISIS.
carrier when the Israeli drone hit us. There are a lot of casualties. Many young men are dead.
The Israeli strikes targeted internal security posts, patrols and checkpoints in an attempt to reinforce a state of chaos.
The Syrian government says it deployed its military to the region to calm violence between the Druze religious community and local Bedouin clans, but its armed forces then became involved in the clashes. Israel claims it's intervening to prevent greater bloodshed of innocent civilians.
We are obligated to protect the Druze residents. We are doing this through intense operations. I hope we will not have to do more.
Benjamin Netanyahu's commitment to the Druze in Syria is mainly because the Druze community in his country are broadly loyal to Israel. But the international community is describing the attacks as overreach.
And calls on Israel to refrain from violations of Syria's independence, its sovereignty, and its territorial integrity.
The IDF also carried out heavy airstrikes on Hezbollah targets inside Lebanon. It's just over 6 months since the fall of longtime Syrian leader Bashar al-Assad, and the country remains fragile after years.
Oh, circling back to one of the videos I did earlier discussing the situation and how there's a political operative that has been making videos about me for years, and how he claimed to be a state director for the Tulsi Gabbard 2020 presidential campaign in Nebraska. The significance of her campaign was that she already was under heavy scrutiny for having a close relationship with Assad, and also the dictator of India, I can't remember his name right now, who has been accused of killing certain people there as well. I think it's a religious dispute, or I'm not exactly sure. But she has at least 2, probably 3 if you include Putin. And as soon as she dropped out of the race, everybody expected that she would endorse Bernie Sanders, and she instead endorsed Joe Biden in 2020, probably hoping that she would get a cabinet position. That's what it seemed like with all of the people that dropped. And they really weren't rewarded. Kamala Harris was the only one that I think actually got something, and she was taken along as the VP. But everybody else, well, Pete Buttigieg, he got an appointment, and maybe Klobuchar, she might have as well, because they're a bit more center left, and so that's the style of politics that Biden was doing. But Tulsi, she has the kind of fan base that thinks that the U.S. is horrible. They think they believe everything that Russia tells them, pretty much. So there's that.
Of civil war and dictatorship, and the takeover by a new regime backed by Islamist militants. And while Syria's defense minister has announced a ceasefire to try to bring to an end these current clashes, Israel's intervention shows talk of a potential peace deal with Syria reshaping the broader Middle East could be premature. Matthew Doran, ABC News, Jerusalem.
Okay, so I will drop the link to that as well. ABC News Australia did that piece. It's a little bit longer, but you can check that one out too. And that is my update for today, you guys.